Okay, we're good to go. We're good to go now. Okay, I'm just going to say welcome to this interview for PLUM Festival Cinema Animation. I'm here with my two guests that I'm going to let them introduce themselves because I don't want to pronounce their names incorrectly.
All right, so I'm Jean-Sébastien Hamel.
And I'm Alexandra Myotte.
So our accent is from Canada. We're French Canadian from Montreal. We're not French from France, it's different. But we're from America, just like in Argentina.
And we're co-director of the animated short film A Crab in a Pool, which is shown at your festival.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're very happy about that. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. Where did you study? How old are you? And maybe the projects that you worked together. I understand that you worked together in a lot of projects.
Yeah. I will start. I am too old. I'm not gonna say my age exactly. I'm too old. But I've studied in animation at Concordia University. I was studying in art before, but sort of all different kinds of art like ballet and music, literature, and cinema. And then at some point I just combined everything together and I decided to do animation because drawing and telling stories are basically the two things I prefer. So I did that, and it took a while. We didn't meet during the study. We met after when we were doing video clips. So
yeah, I started by studying just regular cinema, not animation. But I always loved animation as a child. In the Saturday and Sunday morning at 7 a.m. I was always watching TV or reading comic books. But I never thought that it would be something significant in my career, even though I loved it. But so I was doing live action, editing and directing, commercials or anything really, TV shows. But when I met Alexandra, we just realized that we had so much in common, and we met doing video clips, music video, and since there it was a success. Then we fell in love, and now we're a couple for 15 years. And we did some small animation things right away, but we only got serious like 4 or 5 years ago. So this is our third movie, Crab in the Pool, and I think it's our best yet until the next comes out.
It's always gonna get better. It's always gonna get better. Let's hope so. So that's a beautiful story, you know, beautiful love story. So I think it's interesting this that you said about that you used to watch cartoons and read comics as a kid. I think a lot of people who like animation start there just by watching them as a kid, and I think that's really interesting. What kind of cartoons did you watch?
no, I think it was the same. It was Saturday morning cartoon with, it's basically, there was quite a few Japanese ones like Albator and Goldorak. That's for him more,
Yeah.
like for boys. And there were like Candy and little beaver, and
There was one that it wasn't French, but it was called Cité d'Or. It's actually happens in South America. It's the Golden Cities. I'm not sure the name, but it wasn't a significant one.
Everything that's very fantastical, and there's a lot of imagination in it, and it was quite fun. We were I know I was not so much into the American superhero things. I was more into European comics and cartoons and Japanese after.
But also European. In the Christmas time here in Quebec, there's a TV show that always broadcast Asterix and Tintin. I don't know if you probably know that. So it was like that. And what's really interesting now, looking backward, is that the way we approach our movie when we are making them is it's not really as a movie maker, but more as a movie lover. And so it goes back to that time when we were just when we are still loving just to watch a good movie. So when we are making movie, the first thing we ask ourselves is do I like this movie? Do I enjoy it? Is it new? Has it been done? If we're not sure, it means we don't like it and it's not good, and we have to rewrite again and again. That's what we do. We just rewrite all the time.
I think that's
That's
part of the job, I think. It's really interesting because I think about the first steps into making an animation film, and I think always the first step it's where do you take your inspiration, your creativity, and all of the resources that you are going to use from here.
It's usually my brain, but it's a mix of things. It's usually, I'm not gonna go in details because I think people might not have seen this movie, but it comes often from personal experiences. Something that we've lived, either me or him or both. In this case, it's both. Like, there's two characters. I'm more the female character and her experience, while he's more the male kid character and his experience. So I'd say that it starts from that, but I never want to make a story that's just exactly what I lived. I want something that is very more original and fantastical, and there's a lot of imagination always, so that you kind of approach the story in a different angle that you've not seen 100 times.
But there are always the thing that are really from our experiences are the emotions. So we will not spoil the movie, but the emotions that are perceived or lived for the viewers are the one that we actually lived before and that we wanted to share, because we felt that we would have loved to actually live them through a movie when you're in a safe place when you watch a movie, but you can think about the life and all the challenges and
I think that's what works also, is that since it's very sincere, it comes from real experience. It means that it often happens pretty much every time we show the movie, someone will come to us and say, oh, I lived the same thing and I felt really moved because this is my experience. And I think that's important, that since it's lived by us, it rings very true. And it's not something that we just invented,
Yeah, and also sometimes it's really just little actions that, let's say our character Theo, he sees life like this through his magical binoculars. But that's just a thing I was doing in the car when I was like 10 years old with my little sister, who had always
motion sickness.
Yeah, she had motion sickness, so borderline vomiting. So to distract her and make her laugh, I would do that, and she would do the same and start laughing and forget that she was a bit sick. So details like that too, which are not emotional but funny details of life.
No, of course. I think when we do art in general, not just films, we take experiences from our own, emotions from our own, and we use them, and that gives the film, in this case, a lot of soul, I think, and it makes it feel yours. It's yours. Maybe now diving a little bit into the film, A Crab in the Pool. I watched it. I loved it. I don't used to watch a lot of animation, but I love this, honestly. And taking this, that you said that a lot of people used to come to you after watching the film and saying, I live this, or I know this. I was wondering when I watched it, this is a very particular subject, breast cancer, and and all of that it takes, on the family and or on the person. So I was wondering, maybe if there was a special, let's say, there's a why this subject in particular.
Yeah. Well, if we go there, yeah, I had breast cancer in 2017. And that's when I started to think a little bit about the story. Now I'm fine. It's been 7-8 years, so everything is good for now. So I lived it more like Zoe, which is the little girl, and he lived it too since we were together as a couple. He was also living it, but more as a spectator. So he's more like Theo, which is a little bit on the side. So, he suffers too, but he's not suffering in his body so much, but he's suffering mentally of seeing someone he loves being sick. So
yeah, and in the past, my mother had it too. And that was the first time that I was really confronted with the possibility of losing my parents. So it traumatized me a bit, but even more when it was Alexandra, because it was more serious in her case. And after so that was obviously the main inspiration of the movie, because when Alexandra had the idea with her magnificent brain, and she just showed me a paper when she said, "Yeah, I think that could be an idea." And right away it made me cry because I felt our own story, and even though it was not the same story at all that you saw in the film, because it, as I say, we rewrite it many times, I still cried. I just had the first reading for the storyline, so I knew probably other people would be touched too, and but I was always considering myself very lucky that my story had not the same tragical end that we live in the movie. But then after the movie, only 4 months ago, in 3 weeks, my father passed away from cancer. He didn't know he had it, and it happened. So now I understand even more my own character, so that's really strange.
Yeah,
but that's fine.
I can imagine. I think when you see the film, you can tell that both of you have an experience with this, and that you put your soul into this, and it really shows in the movie, and it makes it a really strong film. Now, going on the side for the character construction that you made, you said a couple interesting things about that. I was wondering how this construction happened during the script writing.
Yeah, it starts with the script writing for sure, but like I made the first draft of a script, and I would say that the main essence of the characters were established at that point, which was Zoe is angry and she's annoyed by her little brother and she's aggressive, but at the same time you learn why she's like this, so you do have some compassion for her. Like, she's not a hateful character, and I'm trying for her not to be, she's a young teenager, so she's very moody and everything. And Theo was much cuter, but at the same time a little bit annoying, like a little brother can be annoying and just nagging you all the time. So I would say that the core of the characters were pretty much established at the beginning of the story, because their dynamic is what makes it interesting. But then as we were doing the movies, and when we do movies, we always rewrite the scenario, even if the animation is started, even if we've drawn like half of the animation, we still work on the scenario. So it changed a little bit. Jean-Sébastien, comes in and bring his own ideas, especially, Theo is more of his character too. So he was bringing a lot of baggage there too. So that works usually, but they're very established at the beginning how they're going to be and what their dynamic is going to be.
Yeah, and a lot of comments that I received from a lot of viewers is that you get attached to those two characters very fast, and they're surprised how fast they're attached because the movie is 11 minutes, and you feel for them. But it was not on purpose. We just tried our best to do that, but I think that you really know their personality the first time you see them. You see that Zoe, the big sister, is fierce. She's strong, a bit mean. So that's how she is all the way until the end. And Theo, he's more funny, whimsical. He sees life in a colorful way, and that's him. And another point that I think that's part of the story, but it's not in the writing, but in the visual aspect of it. They really have their own colors, and their own action. So you kind of learn about them just by watching, the direction, the art direction of their own scenes. We can get back that later. If you see Brad Pitt, you don't see you don't see the character, you see Brad Pitt, So it can it becomes more difficult, I think, in those cases. And with animation, I think it opens up the imagination world. So maybe it opens a door to bypass everything and to just feel what needs to be felt.
You can have example like, for example, a Donner's movie, which are basically stick figures, like the simplest animation possible, but they are very emotional, and the stories are the texts, the dialogues and everything. And so you don't need, even in animation, to have something super detailed with a lot of shadows and beautiful. I mean, like anybody else, but it's a level of animation that is beautiful, but it's not necessary to be moving. You can have something super simple, like you can have a little ball, and just the ball, the way the animator will move it, you feel the emotion of the ball. So I think yes, animation can be very emotional.
Yeah, it opens door.
Yeah. I think there's something about animation that it feels like sweet. Even I don't know how to describe it, but it feels sweet and it feels.
I think it's a recall to when we were kids and watching it. I think there's that emotional connection that we still have. Not to say though that animation is only for kids. There are some for kids, but there are some for adults, and that's a misconception that it's animation, so it's for kids. So we fight for that to say no. It can also be for adults, and adults can be emotionally linked to be interested in it. So it's important to make the distinction.
I think you're closer to your emotion when you're a kid too. So since most people that love animation loved it forever as kids, maybe it brings them back to this moment in time when they were closer to their emotions too. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe it's some nostalgic side, or there's something about that. And I'm really glad you touched the acting thing, because I'm an actor. I've been an actor since I was 8, and I've always found it difficult to do voices, or just record only voices and not my face. I don't know why, but I was wondering, how was that process, and did you struggle with it, or did you struggle on one side, or maybe could you tell us something about it?
Yeah, but the movie.
Sorry, we have a little visitor. She's always curious. She wants to know what's going on.
What's her name?
Abby.
She's really cute.
Yeah. So the voices. Well, the process is usually that I do all the placeholder voices.
Even the woman.
Yeah, even the woman, but just to get the pacing and to see if the script works mostly, and for the pacing to decide how the animation should be done. You know, because it's only sketches at first, but then we place the script so we see the script works and if it does, what should be the pacing. Just like you, I'm not an actor, but I love. And there's a challenge when you do voices, and you're not like a film, but when I do my own voices, I do them like if I was filmed. So I think you could see it in my face, the emotions. I did a couple of voices, but only the bum. Maybe you recognize my voice.
Yeah.
The ugly guy.
Yeah.
Also the fat guy in the pool who say, "I told you."
All the male voices are his actually in the movie, but they're really small.
But the best voices in that movie are from an actress, a grown-up woman called Elizabeth. Yeah, she did
Two kids and the mother.
The two kids and the mother. Casting, maybe we selected about 10 actresses. From the start, I knew that I wanted her, but her agent, of course, was reluctant because it was not the money wasn't as good as for publicity or TV shows. So like that, we're so glad because she's so good.
Yeah, she was great, and I can relate to this. That you said that you can you do the voices like if you're being filmed. You have to really put your body to it because you can tell how the voice changes. Maybe if you are like this or are like this, and you really have to put your body into it, right?
Yeah. Even when I draw too, when I animate, I notice often that I do faces, like the expression. It's involuntary. I don't even think about it. But you know, if the character is angry, I know face is all crunched up, so I have to just relax a little bit. But yeah, even me, when I try to do movements, I will just feel it in my body before I do it on the paper.
You know the method acting.
Yeah.
When you really put yourself into the character. We're finishing a new movie right now. So yesterday I was recording new voices for that movie, but it's a really dark movie. And after 30 minutes of recording, I was feeling so depressed because, you know, just the lines I had to do and the emotions. So at the end of that, I just tried to smile to the camera just to lift myself up and say, okay, it's not real.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do, I think, also method directing.
Yeah.
Because we really plunge into our story just to find the right emotions. But it's a difficult and painful process because to live again things that are really difficult to live. But that's the point, to share them in an efficient way.
Yeah, and I think that's the job also, right? And yeah.
If it's I always say if it's easy to do, it's not good.
It's not good, never. So it's interesting this that you said about how you felt depressed after being recording that. It happened to me too, like cry doing a scene for an hour, and then how do I get out of this? But now, maybe going to more of a technical side of the film, we really liked in the staging process the transitions. I think they were really good. We liked how you took advantage of these resources of animation to move between reality and fantasy, or present and memories, right? So could you tell us something about the transitions, how you work them, and yeah, that.
Well, like you said, it's animation, so we're not doing live action. If we were doing live action, we would do shots like a live action movie. Since we're doing animation, we're not gonna copy live action. We're gonna, enjoy what animation can bring us, which is exactly what you were saying, that you can just go the most imaginative and creative possible. So it's really a point that we focus that every film we want to do, we try to have something imaginative, because we could do just cuts, but then it's boring. And of course, we try not to do transition for the sake of transition either, because then it becomes a gimmick, So it has to have a meaning. And I think for this one, it worked particularly well. So.
Yeah, and the transition was really a way of storytelling, also to link both world of the two characters. And we see it as a visual theme, the transition. So Theo has its own visual theme, which is colors, everything is magical through his lenses. Zoe has its own visual theme, everything is dark, greenish, depressing. And the transition are linking both worlds together, but also opening the door of perception for the viewers to, that the sidewalk is not supposed, the post is not supposed to become a sidewalk, but it does. So in our movie, so for the viewers, I think it opens the perception that everything is possible, and it sets, I don't know how to say, a new space, and you maybe makes them more receptive. And also about the transition, we try to create a crescendo into them, so it starts more easy, but it gets better and better. Was not that intended, but
because at the end, when it becomes very emotional, there are a few transitions, but we felt that it would just distract you from the emotional core of what's happening at the moment. So you have to make sure, like I said before, it doesn't become just a gimmick to wow, but that's it. It has to have a meaning. It's just débalancé. It puts you off balance because you need it in the story, or
but it contributes to wanting to understand what's going on, because it's so unusual that the world shifts like that I'm certain that every spectator says, okay, what's going on, where am I? So therefore they're interested in the story, and if they like the story, well, the transition just helps to get in linked to that story.
But yeah, the main thing is that it's animation, so enjoy the fact that we can do whatever we want. We can use our imagination as far as we want.
Yeah, you can take advantage of all of that. And I think it's really interesting what you said about how the transitions linked the two worlds of the brothers together, because I think there's an age difference there that it's important, but they're still family and they went through the same thing. So it's great that they're still linked, and the transitions make you feel that. I think also
Exactly.
what's interesting, it's to know how you thought of the symbology for the cancer, and it is in the script, or
the Amazon.
yeah.
The the Amazon aspect. Well, it's in the cancer community, especially breast cancer community. The Amazon is an image that is used already. It's not invented by us at all, because the legends say, although we're not sure it's true historically, but they say that they were removing their breasts to be better warriors, and that they are also warriors. So I think that the breast cancer community took that image because they were powerful female characters. They were missing breasts, but they were also fighters. And since, a lot of survivors see it as a combat between cancer and the human, I think that was a figure that is very important. So we started with that mythological figure, and then we had to kind of say, how do we integrate it? And especially for Theo, which is a boy, and it will not be interested in Amazon necessarily, but he will be interested in the whole mythological stories. So that's how the Amazon, and then we brought all that goes with the mythological legends.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't know that about the Amazons. That's super interesting. I'm thinking a lot of things right now. So maybe to now arriving to the end of this interview, I wanted to show you some clips of the film. Maybe if you want to comment on them, like director's comment, and or tell us something about the process or anything. I'm going to share a screen. Sure. Can you watch this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to play.
Sure. This is actually a place next to in our neighborhood. It's a restaurant. So we take a lot of inspiration with what's around us. There's a lot of great hot dogs and poutine, so you can see it's a fast food. And when we go there, we also look at the characters, the people that are there. They're always so interesting in real life, and so we use them often for inspiration. Like that old woman there, I've seen her before at that restaurant, and get inspired by people like this.
The first transition you see with the blood that becomes ketchup, and the way we made it is when I was doing, there's a crescendo in our transition. So this one is a transition of our imagination, but it's a simple editing cut, but it's still a transition and makes people laugh, so it sets the table gradually. So you're happy with this one, but the next one will be better and again better. So it's always satisfying when it gets better. If we had the best transition at first, maybe the spectators would not be ready and would miss it. So this one is easy, and also it serves the narrative of the story because you see already that Zoe is all about blood. She's mean, she's tough, she fights, but it's about food and ketchup.
and ice cream after, and he's a kid. So.
And he licks his own stain of ketchup. And of course, it's a bit shameful to do that. So he melts after that of shame. So I said, if I was, it's like picking your nose almost doing that. If someone catch you doing that, you will feel shame and you will melt. So there are the power of imagination through film animation, and yeah, it's part of the visual style.
Yeah, I think that's. I think this clip really sets the ground for everything that's going to happen, and yeah, I think that's the liberties of imagination. You can literally melt someone of shame.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to open the next clip, and
Yeah, this one, we don't see Theo a lot, but Jean-Sébastien was saying how the world of Theo and the world of Zoe are very different, but they're linked with a transition.
They make the same movement.
Yeah, that you can see Zoe, she's in the bathroom, it's dark, it's dirty, you know, while Theo is in the pool and it's blue and beautiful, a lot of people, it's colorful. They're both traumatized, but they kind of respond in a very different way, and that's what that transition between the two scenes meant.
Yeah, but so that was only the transition, but it means that they're linked. But one thing that was extremely important for us from the very beginning is the bathroom, just the setting of the bathroom, because it's not only a bathroom, it's a metaphor of Zoe's mind. So it's a dark place. You don't want to be there, but still, she's always there. So she's definitely not happy, and but it's there that her memories happens. It's there that you feel that her anguish, and
the reveal at the end is in the bathroom too. When you finally understand what is going on with the kids, it's in the bathroom that you learn it.
Yeah, that's a different scene. And if you see that scene at the end, it's in the same bathroom, but one is in the present and one in the past. And the colors are not the same. The colors in the present are the greenish, traumatized color. And but the memories are more purple, more calm, more...
Well, still not... a bit more happy, let's say. Maybe it's still a bit more hopeful at that point than in the present.
And it's a bit of a spoiler, but you decide how you want to present it. But what you know, Zoe, we said that she's a teen, so she cares about her breasts. Of course, they're growing. She'd like them to attract boys, but at the same time, she saw what can happen with them. So what is she doing? She measures them. Are they big? Are they small? But she's also doing something else, something that she's someone close to her doing, so breast exam. And so she's already wondering about her own mortality. So the old setting of anguish and that the art direction, that's how it is. That's why it's like that, you know.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful, right? Just being a teen measure and also thinking, wow, I'm checking myself for a disease. I think that's a really powerful message.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the sound of the bathroom, I think it's like you don't want to be there. Like this,
no,
it's awful. Yeah.
Well, we have a very good sound guy, which is François Lacasse. He helps a lot with he's working on pretty much all of our movies because we have a very good relation with him. He's doing very great work. So yeah, it was very nice.
There was also but we the pre-sound design and it makes it better. But there's maybe you heard the neon, you know, the buzzing noise. But have you heard the
the drop,
the water drop? There's a drop of water always like tuk, tuk. And there's a medieval torture that was called the water drop, and they would just torture you by letting a water drop on your forehead for hours until you just go crazy and do admit to whatever devil thing that they want to make you. So there's this water drop that's just in the background noise all the time to just
add to the tension.
Create the torture.
Yeah, I think I wanted to talk about the sound because I think it really adds texture to it, and sometimes it feels even disgusting just to watch what happens. And I think the sound design is great. I love it.
Oh, good.
Thanks.
I'm going to play. Yes.
No, but if you watch a movie without sound, it's not a complete movie.
No.
You know, so
But in this one, we decided to put no music. I don't know if you noticed. There's just the mermaid that is singing for just a little bit, and that's music that is diegetic inside the movie. But we thought about it, but we tried because we thought that we wanted people to feel without being told, oh, here's a sad music, feel sad, or here's a creepy music, you must be afraid. We wanted people to really feel the emotion as they were feeling it while watching the story and not being told you should feel this way because there's that music coming. So
as if it was real life.
Yeah.
So it's usually there's music to help you feel like it's real life, but it cheapens it a bit usually because like it tells you you should feel sad, you should feel whatever. But if you have nothing, well, you must really
you work a little bit more.
You must work more to make you feel what you want.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And just by not letting you yourself use music, I think it really unravels your creativity and all of your resources that you can use to make people feel the same thing. So we're gonna go now with the last clip, and
let's
see.
If you don't know, at that point where people see it, they don't really know still what's going on, but it's a big hint. Well, of course. So people are starting to really imagine what it might be related to, and that's the crescendo. This scene, when Theo gets slapped by Zoe, it's like something breaks. It's like the top of the story, and then we're gonna start to have the revelation of what is actually going on.
Yes, the hair, of course, of her. She's traumatized for seeing her mother go through chemotherapy and losing her hair. We see that at the end of the movie, and there are many hints like that. Like we said, in the bathroom, the breast exam, and we do that because we believe it's a short movie, so it's 11 minutes, 11 seconds, and we believe that. To keep the spectator interested in the movie, you must only reveal it at the end. So that's why we never say it up front what it's about, but we keep it like many pieces of a puzzle. And at the end, when you have them all, it's so easy to understand and you get it. But most people only get it when it happens. But when it happens, they make all the links because they were all there.
Meaning it's fun to see it another time too.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
And the slap, it's not cool at all to slap a kid, not in 2024 at least. But this moment symbolizes also the coming of age of Theo, because at that point when you say, okay, this doesn't work, it never worked. But it always worked. But, in reality, there's no fantastic world, really. It's in his mind. It's its coping mechanism to be able to go through his life without the pain. And the slaps is like the revelation when you say, Santa Claus, I'm sorry, does not exist. So your world, fantasy world, it's not the real world. But as adult, I still have my own fantasy world, and I use it to create those movies. So it's fine also to have it, but you must also know that what is reality, and it's a part of the reason why we do these movies. With Alexandra's breast cancer, that was a huge trigger for us to say, okay, time is counted. we have no idea when life is gonna end.
And we have a lot of stories to tell. So
Yeah,
it's like that's why we're pushing and pushing. That's why we have other films coming very soon, because we want to tell those stories. You never know, we might live until 100, but we might die in a month. So you never know. You're never sure. So you have to enjoy it and make the most of it.
So fantasy world exists, but as long as it's in your mind, it exists. But that's what movie is about, and enjoying imaginations and just have a good time.
Yes.
So and reflect on yourself.
Yeah, and you can create a fantasy world, and you did it on this film. I think it's really good. I think that part when she slaps him, it's like it feels like a reality hit. Like, okay, this is happening, this happened, and this is it. And I think it's interesting how he, as a kid, has a coping mechanism, while she doesn't. Suddenly, she's just living it, and everything is more gray around her.
Exactly. No, they're in different. They have different personalities, but
A different age too, because I was reading before writing this. I was reading about how at different age kids how they perceive death. Like, a teenager knows what death is and is going to be much more affected. Like, it means like dark and sadness and two. And the younger you go, the less the child understand really, oh, that is final. I'm never going to see that person again. So Theo is still young, so he's still kind of not, he grasps that his mother is dead and he's not going to see her, but he's not, accepting it that much. Well, Zoe accepted it, but she's very angry about it. So it was important to show that they're not on the same level of understanding towards that.
We spoiled the movie a lot. Huh? Right?
Yeah.
I hope that
It's okay.
Your viewers are going to see the movie before the comments.
Let's hope it's after. Let's hope they see this after. Well, I think everything you said was great. Honestly, I'm very happy that I got the opportunity to interview you guys. I wanted to maybe ask you if you wanted to add something that's been on your mind on this.
Well, we just learned about your first edition of PLUM Festival, and it seems like just to be new institution that's here to promote animation in its pure art form. So we're really intrigued about that, and what we're trying to do with our movie is to take all the possibilities of animation, with the imagination being the limit, but also the best narrative story that we can come up with and bring them both together. So we find it so interesting to be part of your festival experience, because I think when I read about your festival, I think it was a great fit, and just long live animation,
Yeah, totally. And I think you really achieved that two sides coming together. I think it really it gets on. You can see it on the film. So yeah, you're gonna have to come to PLUM or one edition someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be waiting. So well, thank you so much. I'm very happy for this. I don't know when this is gonna come out, but no, thank you both so much, John and Alexandra.
Well, thank you.
And now I'm going to be waiting to see another one of your films.
It's coming soon.
It's dark. Be ready for something dark.
I'm gonna love it, I think. I believe.
Me tapa el micrófono.
Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
And good luck for the festival.
Thank you so much. We're gonna be sending you photos. Bye.
Sure.
Cool.